guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do my project 10 uses. I am going to be rolling out all of the products that I have used 10 times or more this month. Every month I do a Shop My Stash, and whatever I pull from my Shop My Stash goes into this project. So if you watch my last Shop My Stash from last month, you know what I've been working on this month. And obviously if I do not hit the 10 use goal, it rolls on to the next month. I usually do a limit of 3 months. If I'm not using something for 2 or 3 months, I'm like, okay, what's going on? And I either roll it out or I declutter it. But it's a good way for me to rotate through my makeup and also figure out if I really like stuff, because some makeup I have just first impressions on. Some I think, you know, I like, and then eventually I use it and I'm like, actually, no, I don't like this. So it does give me an idea. It's a good way to maybe do some speed reviews as well. And yeah, I have quite a lot rolling out today. All right, let's start with everything that is rolling out. I will start with these two things because they are big. So I have been working on my two PLouise face palettes. I've got this one here, which is my first blush palette. And honestly, I actually kind of like this. I think between the two of them, the other one is a highlighter palette. I actually think I like this one more than the highlighter palette, which is not what I originally was thinking when I first got these. This one and the G1000, which is the highlighter palette, I've actually been working on for 2 months now. And I am going to be rolling both of them out. So because these are so big and they've got 8 pans in them, I set my limit to 5 uses, but I did obviously want to use all of the different shades at least one time. So with the Geo, I only need to use it 2 more times because I had it in last month and I didn't hit my 5 uses. And I also didn't use all of the shades in those other 3 uses that I had. But I have used it only 2 times this month, and I have used all the shades now in their entirety. I will say, yeah, I actually have quite a lot of highlighter on today, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you what part of this is on my cheeks because it's all sort of combined. I kind of went a little crazy with the highlighter, but there were some ones in here I was just like, okay, I got one more use, let's just do it, and I whacked everything on my face. So that's kind of how my face is looking right now. I don't really know what to say about the highlighter palette. I think it's a good one. I think the blush though is really beautiful. I really like the quality of the blush palette. I would compare it to the matte blushes from ColourPop. I think it's similar to that, and I personally like those. If you are not a fan of them, you might not like them. But I think these have the perfect sort of pigment to them. I don't think they are too pigmented that you can't work with them, and they're also not pigmented. Like, they are pigmented, so I think they're like the perfect balance. And I think there's a lot of nice, beautiful colors in this palette. I will say the bottom row, I'm more interested than the top row. This one, I only need to use it 1 more time this month, but I did need to use a few more shades. However, I've used the palette 5 more times this month, so I've used it quite a bit more than the highlighter palette, and I have used all the shades now. There are some shades that I've used multiple times, and I will say that this last shade that I used just today, I'm trying not to blind you. Oh, if I flip it like that, okay, that's better. I was trying not to blind you, but I didn't realize it flipped all the way. Yeah, this one I actually put on today. It's probably the weakest of all of them. So this one did not have a lot of pigment. The rest of them are very beautiful, very pigmented. And like I said, I really like the bottom row the most. But yeah, this one was the last one that I need to use in order to use all of them. And I wasn't that impressed. I mean, I don't really see much on my face today. So yeah, that was the only thing that I sort of noticed about that palette. Okay, moving on, because I'm getting hot. I have my Ofra highlighter palette. This is the All of the Lights palette. This one I had in last month. I needed to use it 6 more times this month, and I have done that. I used it 1 more time again today to get my 6th use. And I generally kind of flip between these two. I kind of do a little swatch of these two. These two I'm not a huge fan of. I think they're a little bit too deep for me, but I definitely like this side of it more so. And this one I have not used in my inner corner. It's literally just been on my face. But yeah, this one's be rolling out. My, what am I starting with? My Maybelline lipstick here. This is the Peach Poppy lipstick. I only need to use it 2 more times this month, which I have done now, so I'm very pleased, and I'll be rolling this out. I'm wondering if I could try to do a project pan and just try to finish this one, because, you know, there's certain lipsticks in my collection where I really do like them, and they're always a good go-to. This is an old lipstick, but the formula is still fine. It doesn't smell bad. Like, compared to other lipsticks that I've had for less time where they have gone off, I'm pretty impressed by Maybelline, I'm not gonna lie, and I do like the color, so maybe it's something that I'd like to pan, although it is a lip product, so I'm really terrible at those. Okay, next up we've got my High Key Gloss lip gloss from Kimchi. That is like a mouthful. It's so hard to say that. This is the color Peach Pink. It's a really nice peachy pink, you know, as it is in the name. I had this in last month, and I only need to use it 2 more times this month, which I have done. So this one's gonna be rolling out as well. She's over here, my Pixie. So this is the Pixie Shea Butter Lip Balm. This one I also had in last month, and I needed to use it 5 more times this month. I just had it in my bag for most of the month, and I have used it 5 more times. I think I've used it more times because I was reapplying it. It's a really nice balm. It's a nice color too. It's like my lips but better color, or just makes my lips look nicer than they are. I actually don't really have a color to my lips at the moment, or ever. I don't know why I say at the moment. Then we've got my NARS foundation. I had this in the project last time. Last month I kind of failed. There was so many items that rolled into this month, but thankfully I feel like most of them I have used now 10 times. This one I only used 5 times last month. I've used it 5 times this month now, and I would love to say I have a better opinion about this. Not even better, but I have more of an actual opinion about it, but I don't. I think it's a nice foundation. I don't think that I have anything to say about it other than I enjoy it. So maybe I'll just leave it as that, because there's really literally nothing else I can say about it. Okay, then I've got my Catrice Tinted Serum Foundation. Now this one I have only used 9 times in total. I had it in last month, and I've also had it in this month. Last month I used it 4 times, so I need to do it 6 times this month. I've used it 5 times in total this month. I'm going to use it the extra 1 time. However, just for the purpose of this video, I am going to be rolling it out, but just know I will use it 1 more time just for it, because I do want to roll in some other foundations, and this one I would say more so than the NARS one, I just don't know what to think about this one. I think it's okay. Is it like amazing? No. Do I hate it? No. I was really hoping rolling these 2 into the Project 10 uses, I would have a better opinion about both of them. I think I like this less than the NARS one. However, I just can't tell you why. There's nothing like wrong with this. I just don't have an opinion about it. It's just blah. That's all I can say about it. Now, I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind about it, but I'm not disliking it, but I'm not loving it. Okay, next up we've got the Kind of Beauty bronzer that I've been working on. Again, this was in last month. I needed to use it 4 more times this month, and I have. And I did show you a little bit of a pan last time, and you can see I actually have more of a pan. Now it really is because I dropped this on the floor, and then when I started using it after I dropped it, you could tell that the bronzer had loosened up, like the powder was a bit loose, and obviously there is that crack. So it's not like a true pan, but it is a pan in any way, and I have another little pan there to share. But this one is going to be rolling out. I do like this, very pigmented this. For such a little tiny itty bitty bronzer that I got in a subscription box, it does pack a punch, and it's a pretty decent color as well. So I am glad that I got more use out of it, and it might be something that I'd like to pan in the future just because I've kind of loosened it now, so why not? All right, next up we have these 2 that I'm going to be rolling out. I did not use these a total of 10 times. I didn't even use them a total of 5 times, but they are water activated liners, and to be fair, it's not something that I do all the time. So I kind of rolled them in hoping I'd get some use out of them, which I did last month. However, I actually haven't used them at all this month. There were days when I was like, well, maybe I should use it, but I just didn't. So as much as I wanted to use them, I haven't. And I feel like there's no need for me to keep them in another month just to prove to myself that I can use them maybe 1 or 2 more times. I actually have 2 other ones that I might have to roll in. I might roll in for my Shop My Stash anyway, or at least one of them because I haven't used it. So these, I feel like I played with them. I know what they do. These are from GlossGods. I do like them for when I need them. They're not going to be a constant thing for me, but it's if and when I want to do something special, you know, or add something, then I know I have them and I've enjoyed them. But I'm going to be rolling them out. They're like my only sort of veto, as you know, as it were, where I haven't hit my goal, but I'm still rolling them out, and hopefully you kind of understand why. Then I've got my Candid Concealer. This one I have used 11 times this month, so it's going to be rolling out. Okay, and then before I go on to the eyeshadow palettes that I'm going to be rolling out today, I'm going to be decluttering this Nude Sticks lip pen. I do feel sad about it. This is the shade Siren, and it's a really nice shade. It's really nice. It's really nice. I will give you that. I wore this 2 times this month, and to be fair, I do enjoy how it looks. The problem that I have with this is it transfers and it ends up getting into the crease of my lips, which, fair enough, it's probably my lips' fault more than this, but this is so creamy that I don't enjoy working with it. I think if it was more matte, I would have much more enjoyment from it, but it is incredibly creamy to the point that I just don't like how it looks after like even half an hour after putting it on my lips. And I've always felt like it was too creamy, but because the color was so vibrant and fun, I kept it. But at the same time, I don't wear red lipstick all that much, and if I'm gonna wear it, I don't want it transferring everywhere. I even, you know, I paired it with my lip liner, and I purposely pulled the red lip liner thinking that I would pair the two together, and I did, but it just didn't stop it looking a mess on my lips. Now I will say I don't have it on today. This is literally just that lip liner and my Fenty lip gloss that I have on today. I much prefer using the lip liner at the moment than using the Nude Sticks. So as sad as I am to say goodbye to this, because I honestly think it's a nice product if you like what it is. I personally don't like what it is, and I can't make it work for myself, so I'm actually going to be decluttering this. Okay, and then I am rolling out 3 eyeshadow palettes today, which is exciting. The one that I've had in the longest is the Killer Pearl from Menagerie. I used this 6 times, no, what am I saying? I used this 1 time last month, so I need to use it 4 more times, because as an eyeshadow palette, I want to use it at least 5 times, but also use all of the shades at least once, which I have done now. So this has been really fun to use. Yeah, I put up, like, did I take a picture before? I haven't really been doing a before and after because you really can't see the difference. But I will tell you that I used this shade twice, and that was the one that I used the most times out of the last 2 months. Everything else I think I've only used the 1 time. Gosh, this looks really purple. Look at that, that looks so purple. For me, it looks very beige, but it looks super purple in the viewfinder. It's a beautiful duochrome. So yeah, I love this quality. I love this formula. I am so glad that I picked this up. And honestly, because I have this, it's the only reason why I haven't picked up the Natasha Denona Yucca, because otherwise I would have picked that palette up. I think out of most of the palettes that she's released, at least in the last few years, that's the one that's been the most exciting to me. But because I had just got this, I think maybe a month before she released the Yucca, or however you say it, I was like, oh, there's no need for me to get 2 palettes that look the same. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about her new palette? Are you gonna get the neutral one? I don't know. I was looking at it, I almost bought it actually yesterday, and then I was like, no. They're gonna add like $20 to the shipping. That is a lot of money. So I think I might wait a little bit before I go and splash out. Anyway, the next one that I'm rolling these 2 out. So this one is the GlossGods Dancing in the Sky. I love this palette. I love it. I have used it 7 times this month. It's only been in for the month and I've used it 7 times, and I've used all of the shades at least once now. A few shades I've used twice. It has the creamiest formula. Oh my goodness. This one I used today was the last one that I needed to use, and I didn't even like push my finger in there, and it just like, you know, it's so creamy. I love it so much, and it is a beautiful, beautiful yellow there. But yeah, this one, it's just honestly a joy to use. So I think this one I used twice. Everything else I used once. Yeah, so this one I used twice, and then we've got this one I also used twice, and this one for some reason. So all 3 of those I used twice. Everything else I only used the 1 time. But gosh, such a pretty palette, and a good companion palette, I feel like, especially with the looks that I've been pairing it with this month. I have really enjoyed it. And then the other palette that I'm rolling out is my Natasha Denona Nuva palette. This one as well I had just pulled last month, and I've also used it 5 times, and I've used all the shades at least once. So I don't know, I think I've paired these two really well together, because that's like got a lot of green but also has like purples to it, and I feel like this has the greens in there, and I've been able to pair those 2 palettes actually together quite a lot. For this one I've used all of the shades at least once, except for this one which is this just you know, this nude shade or this light whatever skin color shade for me, and I used this 3 times. Everything else I've just used the 1 time. I really wish this was a different color, or just a different shade in general. It's a really not a nice color, this one, but I actually have a lot of the shades on today, because I thought, gosh, I haven't used, like, I think it was like 4 shades in here that I hadn't used, so I just whacked them all in my lids today. So yeah. Okay, that is everything that I'm rolling out. Just a recap of everything that is staying in. I am going to be keeping my Fenty lip gloss. I had this on today, like I said. I actually had it in the project last month. This is the shade Fussy. I was supposed to use it 6 more times this month. I only used it twice, so I do need to use it more. So I'm just going to keep that in. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. I just haven't been pairing it with anything, so for whatever reason I haven't been using it. And then most of these I think I just rolled into the project last month. So I have my ColourPop blush here. This one I've only used it 3 times. This is the Fresh and Peachy. I like it, but I just had, obviously I was working on the PLouise and I wanted to get that one out, so a lot of the blush that I rolled in this month I neglected. This one as well I kind of neglected. I only used it 3 times. This is the MAC Fairly Precious Extra Dimension. Really beautiful, but yeah, I only use those the 3 times each. Then I've also got my Estee Lauder Pure Envy lipstick. This one I have used 4 times. It's a little bit too mauvey for me. I always hope that it's going to be a little bit more brown, like lean more brown mauve, but it always leans more pink mauve. So I kind of I usually put this on and then I put on something to counter the color. I do like it, but it's a little bit dark. It's a little bit vampy unless I put something over it. And then I've got my Sosu Jackson stick bronzer. This one I used 5 times, so I'm going to be keeping it in, obviously. I've got my Laura Geller highlighter here. This one I have used 5 times, including today. I've got my Natasha Denona bronze palette here. This one I have used 4 times. I've used all of the shades except for this one. No, this one. I've used all of them except for this one, and I've ended up using this one twice, and this one once, and this one once. Next, I've got my NYX This Is Milky Gloss. This one is the shade Caramel, yeah, Salted Caramel Shake, and I've used this 5 times, so I'm going to be keeping it in. I've got my Luxe Lip Oil from ColourPop. This one I only used twice, so definitely need to keep this in. This is the Peachy Keen, and I need to try to be a little bit more mindful about that one. I definitely don't want to neglect it anymore. This one I've neglected quite a bit. I only used it 3 times. This is the Essence Good Stuff Happy Bliss Face Spray, and I thought I would use it way more, but honestly I forgot about it, and so yeah, I only used it the 3 times. I've got my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. whatever it is. And this one I have used 6 times, so only 4 more times. This one I use quite a bit. I've got my NYX liner here. This one I have on today, and like I said, I really like this color. I really like these lip liners. I don't like lip liners, but I really think these are nice and creamy. So these are the NYX Line Loud, and it's the shade Stay Stunting. I only have 2 shades. I really feel like I want to pick up more because I am enjoying them more than I've ever enjoyed a lip liner before. So I'm finally like getting into them, and I might pick up more from these. Although I kind of looked online and I couldn't see any more that were like this. So I don't know. I can't remember where I bought this. If I bought this in store, because NYX is in store a lot here, or I bought this online. I think I bought this online. But anyway, yeah, this one I only used 3 times, but still 3 times for a lip liner, that's quite a lot for me. But anyway, I'm going to be obviously keeping that in and trying to see if I can hit 10 uses. And then the only things I have left are 2 eyeshadow palettes. So I rolled in my Blue Moon palette from ColourPop. This one I've only used the once, and I actually used it just for a get ready with me. You would have seen that a few days ago on my channel that I just posted that. But yeah, so I need to use it at least 4 more times and use all of the shades at least once. I have used 5 shades, so like pretty much half of the palette now, but obviously there's a bunch of shades in here that I have not yet used. Don't know if I like this new color story that I arranged, so I'll have to just figure it out once I've used it a little bit more. If I do, it might be more of a companion palette, because I know in that video that I did a few days ago, did I go into other palettes? I think I did. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. Or I went into the Dancing in the Sky. I don't really know. And then I also have the Midnight palette from Beauty Bay, which I have rolled in because I knew it would take me several months to do a no pan left behind on this palette. I have used the palette 4 times, which is not a huge amount, but honestly, I've kind of realized this is a very dark palette. I don't know. I wish that they had some lighter shades in here, like just something a little bit lighter. There's a lot of mid-tone and there's a lot of dark tones. I mean, I think in the blue section, there's probably more lighter shades, but in the purple section, I just don't feel like there's light enough shades for me. So I was using my Dancing in the Sky with this because I really wanted more, like, I don't know, just lighter pops of color that I could put in my inner corner or right on the top of the lids. And this one, compared to the Earthly palette, I feel like the Earthly palette, like the big 42 pan one, has so much versatility to it. I could use that for any look that I wanted to do because it has the light and it has the dark. This one I don't feel like has the light that I'm craving for. So I am actually straight away not liking this one as much as the Earthly, let alone the color story being, this is obviously more wintry, vampy than the Earthly is. So I can understand that probably I would like the Earthly more anyway. But I don't know, after playing with it for 4 uses now, I kind of realize it doesn't have enough lighter tones for my liking. However, obviously the formula is amazing. It is Beauty Bay, so I don't mind that. So aside from this shade, which I've used twice, the other shades that I've used this month, obviously just used the once. I'm not going to put up on the screen yet my uses because it's kind of silly. I mean, I think the first one in the first row, I think I used this one, and then I used these 2 someday, and then I also used this one, and then I also use these 2, I believe. Yeah, these 2. And then like this one I love. This is like my favorite. Oh my god, I'm not even on screen, sorry. This is my favorite one, but I only used that the once this month so far. Yeah, I haven't used nearly as much as the blue as I have the purple so far. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not going to be a favorite palette of mine. I think the Earthly I really, really enjoyed, and it has the neutrals that you want, and it has the greens, and it also has a little bit of that reddish brick red as well. So it really has a lot in there for a 42 pound palette. I feel like this is lacking. For a 42 pound palette, I feel like there just isn't enough lightness to it, which is a shame for me to realize that, but it's fine. I mean, I will still continue trying to work on it and obviously get a no pan left behind on it. It's just going to take me a little bit of time to do that. Alright, so that is my update for my Project 10 uses. Stay tuned. I believe maybe my Shop My Stash will come out sometime next week. I'm trying to do like maybe just 2 videos a week at the moment. just simply because, you know, I'm trying to enjoy the summer. And so I think I'll have my Shop My Stash next week, but otherwise, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!